You signed on as a producer on this project. What does that mean? How did that happen? And what do you get out of that?
Well, usually it's usually has to do with if someone has if I've originated the project, then it's my baby in a way. So you're nurturing it all the way through. In the case of this movie, I had worked with Raymond DeFelitta, the director, before on City Island, which we also co-produced with each other, and he directed and I acted. That we started from scratch together with no money and looked for the money and casted the film and stuff. It was a job that came to him and he asked me to come on board. He was very sweet. He said something like, I can't think of making a movie without you, so I want you to be there. I think as a director, you like to have people around that you can spitball creatively. Even when you're shot the movie and you're editing, you can say, come in, I want to show you a cut, let me know what you think. What do you think? Because you're invested in the story, you know the story. You can provide some fresh eyes onto it and suggest some things. And that collaboration, I think, is important. For every director has those kind of probably close relationships that they trust and have a sort of symbiotic, simpatico with. And so for me as a producer, it's the nurturing of a film, to be able to be involved from its inception, from casting suggestions, development of the script, if need be. Like this one, my part was really underdeveloped, and me and Raymond created this part that you saw. And so all this, taking it all the way through the post and having input on the post and having input on the cut of the film, have a bounce off of the guy you're collaborating with.
You mentioned the character of Big Al being underdeveloped. So how does he end up at the end of the film?
Well, the guy you saw, he's a guy who predominantly started as a owner of a food truck, and by chance got involved as a courier for the mob, and that started providing him and his family in a way that the food truck did not. And he slowly gets sucked into this world that he thought he was going to be able to navigate and manage and provide and protect his family. But as it turns out, the deeper he got into it, the less he could protect. And tragedy ensues in his own family, and he's left with his son's, who's now dead son's son, his grandson, and that sort of exploring that was to me what Raymond and I wanted to kind of what we came to eventually be excited about. This sort of guy is more as a grandfather and as a father than necessarily a mob boss.
You had to be thrilled with the casting of the two leads. They were fantastic.
Yeah, Nina and Michael, yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic actors. And they were involved already when Raymond came to see me. And he had actually shot some footage with them in the winter, way before the movie started, and I saw the footage. And then we talked about other parts, like I suggested Michael Rispoli, and of course Raymond had worked with him before, and my daughter had worked with Michael, and Yul Vasquez also, they had worked together with my daughter Dominique, and I was big fans of their work. So. And we had Griffin Dunn in there, and Ray Romano, of course, and Frank Wally, and Kathy Moriarty. It's really a beautiful cast,
Made in Hollywood.